people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and welcome to the Laid Back Livestream Part 4. So, not Laid Back Livestream, Low Energy Livestream. I keep getting the two confused with myself. So, just have a quick check. Right, Ben, I've been in a few different live streams with a few different people and stuff, and watched a few live streams. Normally, with at least with the bigger YouTubers, and that's what I'm wondering about here. With bigger YouTubers, the chat is active before they start the live stream. So yes, hello, it is on now. Well, it should be on now. But yeah, the chat is actually active with some of the bigger YouTubers before the live stream starts. So I'm not sure what the situation is here. I don't know if it's something I've messed up with my settings, or which I'm going to have a bit sit down and have a look, or if it's something to do with just because I haven't got enough subs or something like that, or I might just be imagining this. I don't know. But hopefully I can get it sorted out and people can have a bit of conversation in the chat channel before my live streams actually start. Now hopefully that's the way things can go. I might get that right, I might not. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So I'll just quickly, yeah, right, that is the team chat and that is the private chat. Right then, I notice we've got somebody keep dropping in and out here. Hopefully, that's just somebody that's gone from the in waiting section into the live section. I really need to have a shave and do something with my hair. Oh man, I'm starting to look more and more like the Honey Puff Monster. Anyway, right. So I'll try and mutter on for a couple more minutes, and then I've got a few things that I want to touch on today. And I'm starting to put a little bit more work into this, and no, hopefully I can keep going with this, and I can perfect things and get things looking a bit better. No, I'm just gonna check a couple of windows here. I've got my live stream open here now. I haven't even got the chat channel active myself, so I don't know if anybody's trying to chat in that or not. But I have also changed. I did manage to change once, and what? Oh man, I must have. Right, I'm just gonna leave comments unavailable on that. Is that a violin in the cupboard? No, it is one of my old electric guitars. Well, actually, it's not a full electric. It's not a full acoustic. It's like a semi-acoustic. But yeah, I didn't actually realise. I thought nobody was commenting in my video. I didn't actually have chat enabled on my webcam, and I've just looked over at the screen here, and I can see that you are actually posting comments. Yes, so it does seem as if it's only when I go live. Now, I'm not exactly sure why that is, but hopefully I can get that changed. Right. It looks like we're just back down to me and you, Ben. So, I think I'm just going to post a couple of comments. Right then, there we go. So, back over to that. Aha! Hello, Albert. How are you doing? Yeah, there is only you, Ben? Right. Now, as I am a novice at this, and I'm trying to slowly improve things, I'm trying to get better. How is this? If I turn a little bit light up, does it look better? Does it look worse? I'm blaming myself. I'm really blaming myself there. I think that's too bright. I'm a day walker. That's just no good. That's like a nice warm glow there. I think I'll leave that as the nice warm glow. Oh, I wish that was a pint of vodka, but it's not. Such is life. I really need to sack off my other job. I'm just getting slowly more and more tired looking. 3 years of 7 days a week is enough. Oh God, right. So, really highlight the ginger. Stop it now. Thank you. It makes me look more on fire. Right. So, I'll get on with this stuff. Now, I may repeat this later on in the video for anyone that joins, and if you two think that it's worth sharing again, I might not. If and just leave it in case anybody wants to watch this live stream at a later date. I should really work out time zones, because for all I know, for all I know, I may be. I mean, what, it was 6 hours ahead of the States, roughly, in some areas. So I suppose this is like dinner time for some people. I mean, I wouldn't be watching a live stream like this like on my lunch break at work. No. that's why I try and keep it rolling until later on at night, and then some people might join. Right. Anyway, I might have to start doing some of these live streams at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just so that I can try and get some more of our continental viewers, or some of our viewers from the colonies. Hello, viewer. I can see that there's another person popping into the chat there. Right. So, there. Stop with the muttering. I can't do that. I just mutter and ramble, and I don't know. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is about 5/6 p.m. here. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I have no idea what time that makes it in the States now then. And West Coast is further behind. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's about dinner time. If 10 a.m. is like 6 p.m. here, another 2 hours on that would be like 12 o'clock. So yeah, it is. It's like dinner time in the States. No wonder I'm not getting any viewers. Right. Let's get on with this. Let's go on. Right then, so I realise that it's only you and me at the moment, Ben. But 6 to 10 hours behind. Yeah. Right. I realise it's only me and you at the moment, but I'll still do the shout out anyway, and hopefully I'm going to continue this going on in my future live streams, and hopefully I can get some sites, some more players. Now, obviously, it's unlikely that me or you's going to go, Ben, but still, I've been sharing the link with as many paintball pages as on Facebook. Yes, thank you very much for that, Alistair. It's been very, very appreciated. I think one of the best things for trying to get channels to grow is for people to share them who aren't connected to the channel. I think, like, if I share something, people just go, oh, he's huffing his own farts. But when other people share stuff, people go, oh, well, it must be worth at least checking out if other people are enjoying it. That's the way I kind of think of it. Right. So anyway, I'm going to get on with this. So, if you're looking for somewhere to play this weekend, this upcoming weekend, I've got a couple of shout-outs. There is the Mayhem Christmas Walk-On, which is on Sunday the 9th of the 12th, 18, obviously, this weekend. There's looking to be around about 100 players, apparently. There's going to be a charity raffle. The entry is £50, including a box of paint, if you book in advance. And for more details, you can check it out on www.mayhempaintball.co.uk/book. There is also the campaign, The Great Turkey Shoot, which is also on Sunday the 9th. Entry is £25. Paint is from £27, or bring your own, which I've noticed when I've been looking at this, there's a lot of sites are actually doing bring your own again, which I find kind of interesting. It's a good way of getting rid of some of that paint that you've been storing up over the month. Food is included in the campaign game, and there will be a raffle as well. For more details, contact info@campaignpaintball.com. I'll try and think on later, and I will include those links in the description in case anybody wants to check them out watching this later on. Also, you two that are in here with us watching, please can you share that around, just the information of those games. Let's try and get some players to these sites and actually see if we can get a bit more attention on them. More people playing is better for all of us. Right, let's just check out the comments. I've seen them. Yes. Shameless plug, that's another one. Thank you very much, Ben, as well. Cheers for sharing stuff around. 50 with a box of paint is a good deal. Yes, it is. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the situation is if you don't book in advance. That was something I couldn't find any information on, and I didn't contact anybody directly. I haven't told these guys that I'm going to send a plug out to them. That I'm going to try and plug their sites. I haven't gave any information out. I haven't told anybody I was planning on doing this because I'm not being paid for this. I don't want to be paid for this. I just want to try and get people to those sites to go and play. And Pump Fury, yes, 2,000 rounds, a full case with a pump. You can have a lot of fun with that in a day. And I still think, £50, even if you are planning on playing Pump, with, chances are you're not going to use that much paint. It's very rare that you're going to use a full case of paint playing Pump. You're going to have to do some serious pumping. But I still think it's a great deal. Just if sites are starting to bring back, and I think that's a great topic to actually sort of segue onto. If sites are starting to bring your own, then that's going to be a great way for you to continue playing for a while. Now, what I think I'm going to start doing is, because there's like District 23. When you go down and play there, quite often, providing you have bought your paint there before, and I mean that as in if you're taking paint with you, as long as it's paint that you've bought on that site, I think, now I feel I'm willing to be correct on this, but I'm pretty sure that that site, they may not be ecstatic about it, but they're reasonably happy for you to use paint that you have bought there beforehand, because ultimately you are still putting money in their pocket. But what I was going to suggest is that for players like myself that do buy paint there, who then go down and play again using that same paint, because obviously you haven't used it all. I mean, chances are the 50 cal that I bought when I was down there last time, and that's probably going to last me a fair few more games. So what at least I'm planning on doing is next time I go down, I'm going to chuck an extra, maybe £5 in the pot or something, because if I'm not buying the paint, then all they're getting off me is entry. Now, I think it's only fair that if I'm not buying paint, which means that I won't be putting money in their pockets through paint sales, that I think it's only fair I chuck them that little bit extra as a tip. It's like a thank you for letting me on the site with my own paint that I've previously bought there. But I'm going to consider doing that in the future, just as a nicety, just to say thank you. Right. Even a case of shit paint is like 30 now, so that's maybe that's a maybe. Nah, it's been a long day. Even a case of shit paint is like £30 now, so that's maybe a £15 green fee plus food, and it's London way. Exactly. Down London, it's not cheap. Like in game prices have only been going up over the past few years. So, I mean, I know that it's only a walk-on, it's not a full event, but £50. I mean, I think knocking on 10 years ago, I was paying like 40 or 45. So that is good. I mean, I can't say with what am I doing? With the Mayhem Christmas walk-on, I don't know if food is involved. But if it is, I mean, that's fantastic. I don't think you can get, you're going to struggle to find better value than that, especially heading down towards London. Oh, right. The only thing is, I didn't actually look this up, is how close Mayhem and Campaign are. If they're relatively close, I think that could cause problems, because obviously there's the potential for them leeching players away from either side. But if there's a bit of distance away from each other, then hopefully we can get people down there, we can get people playing, and hopefully having a great time. Alright. It's £10 for a Big Mac, and you can't get chicken nuggets from KFC there either. Can you get chicken nugget? Well, is a chicken nugget just breaded chicken? And does it have to be a specific size? Because is a Zinger burger not really just a chicken nugget burger? Right. I'll just check some comments here over in other places. Let's see what happens. Right. What you going to do? Did 23 messengers playing up in? Right. That's from what private chat. So thankfully I haven't shared anything important. Oh man. That's why I haven't got my camera too far around here so people can see what's on my screen. Right then. So, what else we got? I'd like to try and get a few more people in here before we move on to and close that down. Before I move on to the proper topics for today. So, I'll just copy the live chat. Not the live chat, the channel chat. Are you going to the open class at District 23? I think it's on the 21st. I know which game you're on about, Albert. I'm not sure. I think for at least you two, I haven't hidden the fact that I plan on quitting one of my jobs, because I work 2 jobs. I plan on quitting one of my jobs as of, well, basically once Christmas is done. I'm leaving my weekend job. That's the current plan anyway. So, at the moment, I have 4 holiday days entitlement. Well, the thing is, me holiday entitlement carries on going up until I think it's June. So I'm not sure. Well, there's a good chance if I leave, then I'm probably gonna have to pay back my holidays. But for the sake of going down and joining everyone on the 21st or the 22nd, whichever day it is, I think it might still be worth it. So I might have to have a word with the missus, and I might actually come down and join in on the 21st. And hopefully it'll be a really great day. But at the minute, I just can't guarantee it. Mayhem to Campion are 8 miles apart, but over the Thames, so not that close. Still 8 miles, and they've got the game on the same day. I suppose loyalties are going to be tested on that day, aren't they? But yeah, Albert, hopefully I might see you down there on the 4th. The 4th? Hopefully I'll see you down there on the 21st. Yeah, should be a good one. Right, now, I'll just go over to... Now, where should I? UK Paintball? Yeah, my previous post hasn't been at the top for about like 5 minutes, so I'll share it again. Right, come on, right there we go. I'm kind of waiting for somebody to come in and just be like, "Fuck off, we don't want to watch your shit." Right, post. It really does seem to me like Facebook is just dying. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I kind of took a step back from the scene for a while, or if it's maybe it's just me. But it really does seem like the Facebook pages just aren't. Yeah, not that nasty. Yes, you are. But it really seems like the Facebook pages just aren't as active as they used to be. You used to see the pages would be heaving. There was always conversation going, and now it's just people sharing information, and nobody really gets involved in conversations unless it's to argue. And is there a way? It's all them fine Facebook police shutting shit down. Yeah, I think there is a lot of that. And again, this is partly why it's all them fucking Facebook police. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about the fine there. But yeah, this is part of the reason why I tried to start the paintball Discord server, because it's kind of like the fact that I'm sitting talking to you people, you guys now, but the best that I've got at the minute is I'm sitting talking to you live, and I've got a text chat coming back at us. Yeah, that's it. The community standards on Facebook, they're shit. I mean, there was that a while ago where it was, I think there'd been like a mass shooting or something in the States, and there was another whole gun grab sort of thing went on, and people started saying that there were, how do I put it? Um, People started looking, going out and actively looking for anything to do with guns, and they were getting airsoft pages shut down. They were getting, and there was pages dedicated to this. But they were shutting down airsoft pages. They were shutting down the buy sell trade pages, paintball pages. I don't know about Nerf because I'm not in any of them. I sometimes look at the airsoft stuff because some of their stuff is cool, but Nerf's just going too far for me. I can't. It's probably more fun than airsoft, but I just can't. But oh, I must have said something that offended someone there. We did have 5 people in there for a moment, and now we're down to 3. But yeah, so it. I've lost my train of thought now. Oh man, I really do need to sort my hair out. It's like I can just see my forehead shining through my hair. Fuck me, man. Um, but yeah, so knowing that people were looking, people had these pages, which it was funny if you ever found one and got into one, because it's like there were proper snowflakes. It's like, oh, I just got a paintball page shut down that had 12,000 members in it. Fuck off, you sad cunt. Oh man, you know what it is? Me talking like this is probably gonna get me my live streams like shut down for breaking community standards. But it's all right because give it another few weeks and well, no, means another few months, and my YouTube channel's probably gonna get shut down anyway for breaking Article 13. Oh, all right. No, you don't. Your hairline is gonna meet your ears. Yes, I know. The thing is, like my dad's got proper male pattern baldness, so I know for a fact I'm fucked. So I am kind of tempted to go full Heisenberg and just shave the whole lot off. So the thing is, I don't know, and would it suit us? I mean, I don't know if I like. I'm kind of afraid to shave my beard off as well. Fuck Article 13. Yes, yes. Fuck Article 13. And I did change the settings on that, and I don't know. Don't, I don't know why it's yeah. But yeah, fuck Article 13 and fuck Article 11 and fuck the EU in general. The only good thing from the EU is free movement, and even then, that's fucking shit as well. It's just fucking shit. It's a bureaucracy. No, I'm not getting into politics. I'm not. I refuse to get into politics because going going down that way is no. Right. Let's get back to this. I was drooling all over the airsoft gear at Paint Fest. I think the blokes started to get a bit pissed off with me because I kept on saying, "Ooh, that's nice, but does it fire paint?" Yeah, look, I look like an egg with mold. Yeah, I'm kind of worried that if I've shaved my hair and I shave my face, I'm just gonna look like a specky testicle. But yeah, Albert, this is it. Some of the airsoft gear, it looks the tits. It looks amazing, but it doesn't have. I know you can get like low cap mags, which are more realistic than a high cap mag with like, you've got like a Tommy gun or something like that with a normal mag in it that can shoot 500 balls or 500 BBs. Yeah, okay, we've got hoppers and stuff like that as well, but at least with the hopper on the gun, it isn't pretending to be realistic. You get people that go, oh, airsoft's so much more realistic. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Yeah, it's. But I don't want to rag on airsoft, not at the minute. I think we did enough of that in the last live stream. Oh, I don't know why when I do my live streams, I get so thirsty. Right, yes, but yes, I will look like I'd look like an egg with mold if I shave all my hair off. Mm. I think all I really need is like a scar down my eye, but then that's now not politically that's not politically correct now either. So what fuck? I, I suppose if I had a scar down like over one eye or something, I could become the bad guy of paintball, couldn't I? But then I'd be typecast and it wouldn't be politically correct. Ugh, fuck's sake! Right, we've got 4 people in the chat now. Right, chat is absolutely heaving. Thank you, guys. Let's get on to some of the topics that I thought we could cover a little bit today. So I really do. I need a proper haircut. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but yeah. So some of the things that I thought we'd talk about in the chat, talk about today. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to try and find a list of topics that hopefully I can entertain you with for a period of time, up until I can get like something sorted out where I can stream from my computer and actually have a live chat with real live people. So I'll find a pen here so I can mark stuff off. Haha! Something I've always kind of wanted to try. You see, like loads of bloggers and stuff doing it. It's the "I'll see you next time." Wah. Right. Masks. That's going to come up. Yes. You see, for those that don't know, Whizbit here does help me out. He provides us with topics I can talk about and stuff, and I'll also, he helps us out, promotes my videos and stuff, promotes my channel a little bit. It's a massive help, and really helps me get going with this. So, but yes, masks will come up in the conversation. But no, you look like the love child of Harry Potter and Ron Weasley. I haven't got a defense for that. Oh man, maybe. In fact, I'm gonna put a call out for this. It's if somebody can ship that. Somebody who, like, later on, if my channel ever gains any success and somebody's watching this, can somebody please do like some artwork or something for that? If you had a scar, well, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that. Right. So first thing, UZ clip-in glasses for goggles. You might have seen them. They're literally like a set of specs that you pop into the inside frame of your goggles. If I can just get this here, they pop in there, so that instead of you having to wear a set of glasses underneath your mask, you literally put your glasses in your mask, and then when you take them off, you only put your goggles on, your glasses are always there ready for you to play. Only thing that worries me, well, not worries, but the only thing that bothers me with that is, if I went to like the chip van in between games or something like that, or I went for some food, I'd have to put my mask back on. But yeah, so they are available in the US and Canada. So hopefully, as things are, if things are going well for them, they might start producing those at least shipping them out to the UK, and we might be able to get something there. For those of us that have to wear glasses when we're playing, it might be an option. I know there was one of the lads who I think played for the Raggy Rastas a few years ago. He actually had a JT Proflex. So, using the spectral lenses, like that, where he peeled the inside layer off, took a set of glasses, stuck them inside of his glued the lens back down, and carried on playing like that. And that apparently worked well for him for a while, but a little bit more of a bodge. Right then, the next thing. Paintball Magazine is considering hosting an awards ceremony in November of 2019. It would include, obviously it's going to include an awards ceremony, a trade show, and, this is just a little bit of conjecture from me, if it's at all like the previous awards ceremonies, then there'll probably be a party as well. So an excuse for everyone to get out and, hello, oh, good boy. Ah, my dog's turned up. If it's at all like previous paintball award ceremonies, then there might be a bit of a party. People can go down, have a good time, have a laugh. Yes, good boy. And ooh, all the Shoreline teams win. No, it won't have any connection to Shoreline now. Not that anything was ever confirmed with that. It was all just conspiracy theories. It. It. Oh, I've got. I've got to be nice. I've got to be nice. All I'll say is some of the teams that won, it was a little bit sus. You kind of knew in advance who was gonna win. You just kind of knew. Yeah, cough, cough. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, lie down. Lie down. No, be careful. Don't pull my camera over. Right. Yes, I know. I see you. I see you. Right. No, I'm playing with the dog. Come here. Come on, Gibbs. Come on. There we go. See? I'm not having a wank. I'm playing with the dog. You're a good boy. Right. I wonder, was it fuck or was it wank that got that comment held for review? Right, next thing. Now, it came back up again. No, it's not masks. The conversation came back up on one of the pages. I lost my pen. Ugh. So I'll just quickly cross that one out and that one out. And I can always come back to them for something else to talk about. Right. The subject came back up again on, I think it was on How Big is Paintball? Paintball up, guns down. Popped up again. Now, I kind of saw stuff about it a while ago. I didn't really look into it all that much, and I still haven't looked into it that much. I just watched the rest of the video. And it seems like I can kind of understand what these guys were going for. Trying to reduce violence in the community by getting rid of real firearms and replacing them with a game. The unfortunate thing is that these guys were replacing them with, it's not like they'll run around with Nerf guns that were bright colours or anything. And this seems to be the problem that I think it was the police chief. The police chief did a TV conference or whatever, where he had said they were taking some of these guns. They look very realistic, and some do, some don't. Obviously, tournament guns don't, but the more mil-simmy type things do. Now you've got Picatinny reels and stuff on guns. Of course, they look a lot more realistic, and you can't expect a police officer from 100 meters away or even 100 foot or whatever to recognize that something is or is not a real gun. To them, even it could be even just a bat or something like that. To them, you are carrying a weapon. Obviously, the best thing to do when in relation to paintball is obviously get to a proper site. Now, these guys that are promoting this, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but anyone that in the States really should be approaching these guys and trying to encourage them to go, if they want to settle their differences by shooting each other, if it is gang related or even if it's just groups of mates, they need to get these guys to a paintball site and let them play it out properly and then shake hands. And apparently that was part of the whole paintball up, guns down scheme that these guys did. I mean, the first one they did was they rocked up on another group of guys that they'd had problems with, peppered them, and drove off. And then these other guys went and bought guns and did a drive-by on them. And it all sounds fun and games until somebody will eventually get injured or somebody's going to get shot by the police or something like that. It's a stupid idea, really, but I kind of see why they're doing it and I see the good side of it. It's not something Sergeant A.L. Powell. Yeah, that was somewhere around about the Nakatomi Plaza, wasn't it? Yeah, he got involved in that action around last Christmas. Or was it a few Christmases before? Yeah. So, but hopefully, I mean, I haven't looked into it anymore. Hopefully, well, that's it, or they'll get shot in the eye. That's ultimate. Somebody could get hurt. There's the minor sort of stuff of being shot in the face with a paintball and losing teeth or losing an eye or something like that. All the way up, because a lot of these guys weren't using masks. In fact, I don't think in the entire video documentary thing I saw of them. 1988. Yes, the year I was born. Does that make you feel old, Ben? So, yeah. So, what was I saying? Just hopefully these guys, none of them got hurt, none of them got in trouble, and I would love to see that these guys go out and play. Because the thing was, now we all know that paintball is a relatively expensive hobby. No, it doesn't. We all know that paintball is an expensive hobby. There is no denying that. And say I think any hobby, once you start getting into it, can be a very expensive hobby. But these guys, they weren't shy about the fact that they were dropping, in some cases, quite serious money to go and to play paintball just in the street. And say, why not put some money back into your local community? At least the a relatively close community. Put money back into it. If even if there's no sites open, see what you can do about finding somewhere where you can open a site and put money back into your own community by giving local people jobs, and there's that money that they're going to they are then going to go away and spend that money in their own communities, which is then going to encourage local businesses, and hopefully that just, it's not much, but it would help their own communities get better, and that's everywhere in the world. If we put money back into our own communities, we'll see our own communities improve. My inability to walk upstairs makes me feel old, you young whippersnapper. Mate, I have that problem as well. That's why I'm trying to lose weight. Oh, right. So anyway, I think that's enough about paintball up, guns down. But, as I said, hopefully those guys, none of them got in trouble, none of them got hurt. I don't want to see anything like that. No, I don't want that to happen to people. Right, so that was the paintball of guns down. Oh, now on to the one that you suggested, Ben. It's reared its ugly head again. Yes, the FMA A1. I think it was the FMA, or maybe in the FMA F1. Basically, those cheap Dye I4 rip-off masks have resurfaced again. Yes, masks. They've resurfaced again. Now, I think, in fact, I can probably my channel. I'm going to find out exactly how long ago it was. Oh man, I really need some sleep. Right, if I go back here, that was 1 year ago. Where is it? It's not that far. Come on, where is it? Aha! 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I made a video using the photos and information that I got from Urban Paintball about the FMA F1 paintball masks. And people, I'm not saying that, my video went viral or anything and people saw it all over the place and that stopped the masks being sold or anything. But it's been viewed a fair number of times. I think it's one of the most viewed videos on my channel. In fact, I think it is the most viewed video on my channel. And regularly, you keep seeing people posting up, asking about these masks, and it always gives me a bit of a buzz. Every time I see, this conversation come up and my video gets shared. But these masks, they aren't designed for paintball. They're barely designed for airsoft. And there was a video of an airsofter had shared where they were shooting the mask with one of their airsoft guns, and it was actually putting divots in the lens. These masks are not designed for paintball, and I'm really tempted to buy a new one and do an up-to-date version of it for the amount of money that they are. I mean, that the mask itself is cheaper than a regular Dye I4 lens. In fact, I wonder if I can. I'll bring up eBay. I really need to work out how to share my screen. Right. eBay. Paintball mask FMA. Let's have a look. Right, the FMA Tactical Anti-Fog Goggle Single Layer Full Face Mask Airsoft Paintball Black. $24.99. You can buy that mask for £25. Now, because I don't want to check eBay for buying an actual lens, I'm going to check out. I'm going to go to Fat Bob's. Just check out Fat Bob's for a sec. And we'll see how much an i4 lens costs. Right, paintball, paintball goggles, paintball lenses. Right, what we've got. Dye. There we go. Hello, more viewers. Right, now, that's the SLS thermal goggle lens. i4. It is $24.94 from Fat Bob's to buy a thermal lens for a set of i4s. It's $24.99 for for one of these FMA masks. It is like 50p more expensive than the lens. I don't understand why people are prepared to try and put their eyes at risk for something that every time somebody has bought one and tested one, they have fallen to bits. And then people will say, oh, can you not just change the lens? What don't you understand about the mask falls to bits? It's not designed for it. Yeah, I-chan, fuck my ass. Yeah, pretty much. Right. Yeah, that was it. It was 3 years ago, Ben. BZ posted up about someone using them on a site in the UK. I wouldn't be surprised, Albert, because the thing is, if I was to buy one of these, I could take it to, say, somewhere like Delta Force, where the refs know nothing about paintball, and they're going to see a paintball mask. It's not even like, a cheap mesh airsoft mask. This is legitimately, it looks like an i4, and even someone that's got a cursory knowledge of paintball could see that and just think, oh yeah, it's an i4, and let someone through. That person then gets shot in the face. The ball, worst case scenario, the ball goes through the lens and takes their eyes out. That's not something that we want to happen in paintball in the UK. That would be fucking devastating to us. But yeah, it really wouldn't surprise us if somebody's used one of those mostly I would expect it to be like a rental site. At least with a normal site, it's there's a good chance it's going to either be caught by a regular player or caught by a ref that actually plays, or even just seen in the safe zone, and you're more likely to have a bit more idea what you're doing if it's regular players. What was the other one recently that was marketed as paintball but then changed it? That was the Walk goggles. I think it was Walk. That's a WARQ. They've now, in most of their stuff, they've taken off that it's designed for paintball, which is good. Now, apparently, they still do have something in the works that will convert them into a paintball mask, and I think it's basically going to be, from the looks of it, that they're going to put like a liner in the inside of the goggles, so that if you want to use it as a paintball mask, it will protect your eyes. Because there was that video, I can't remember who it was, I had bought one, I got their hands on one somehow, and they were testing it. Now, yes, it was just on a post, it wasn't actually on like a human head or anything like that, but when they're shooting it, there was paint, they would have been up here. That ain't good. Now, alright, yes, it's a mesh, so it's going to stop a ball. Sorry, bourbon. It's going to stop a ball, but you're still going to have some spray and some shell go up. And that could go in your eyes. It's not going to lead to a good time. Nobody's going to have fun with that. But if they come out with a proper paintball design system and it gets approval, yeah, feel free. I mean, I think the fact that they do look more tactical, they look more real, it's obviously going to appeal to a certain market. That would be fantastic. Right. Sophie Banks posted this on Battlezone members. I see. I'm not on Battlezone. I'm not on the Battlezone members page. So obviously, because I'm not a Battlezone member. Yeah, Chan, fuck my ass. Don't take that out of context. What happens in the van stays in the van. Sorry, trying to post up, but too large. I value my eyesight too much. Yeah, damn right. I mean, all right, like JTs. I've probably got lenses in my JT in some of my JT goggles that should really be replaced, but at least they're actually designed for paintball. And any type, I should really go through and start changing some of them out at times. But when they're designed for paintball, there's that whole thing about every time you get a shot to your goggles, you're supposed to replace it. When we all know you are supposed to replace your lens every time you take a hit the goggles, but we all know that also isn't feasible. Right. Short of it, BZ are now checking members' masks. Yeah, good. Yeah, at least when you're wearing something like something like that, you can see it's not one of these cheap knockoffs, unless of course somebody starts knocking off JTs. Why people say they have £200 for a full setup and scrimps on mask? Yes, exactly. They're checking them before letting them on the field. Yeah, ultimately it amounts to the same thing. But yeah, this is it. People will scrimp and try and save on masks, but they want the best gun that they can possibly have. I don't know what that was from one of the people I watch on YouTube. There just shared a video. Right. Oh God. When I look across, there's a couple of second delay on my feed. What I'm watching must be the same as what you're all watching. And Christ, me leaning at the camera suddenly like that was not pretty. Need to get some of those cheap ass masks and rage ramp at them for science. I totally agree, Ben. I think for 25 quid, I might actually shell out. I might do a bit of overtime at work or something. Shell out and buy like 3. Now, I'd be very interested to do a test on them. Test one with just round ball from a couple of meters and see, just take a couple of shots at it, see the damage it does. We'll do another one with first strike and see what it does. And then we'll just start ramping on one. Because I don't know if I'm going to have a quick look. But years ago, I had another YouTube channel. Chan knows about it because he was on videos on it. I think it was something like Mega Paint Pie. Yeah, I was a lot younger then. Yes, my old YouTube channel is still in with 9 subscribers. And, right. You know what it is? It's not on anymore. Oh, man. I don't know. I might be able to... I suppose I could contact them. I could contact YouTube and see if I could get access to the channel. But, in fact, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could probably try and get back into that, and it might just be archived. But I did have a video on that, and I'm not sure. Chan might have even been involved in it, where I had a set of JT grills. No, it wasn't the Full Auto Phantom channel. That was Tritech. That was something that me, Chan, and Twig all worked on together. But we had an old set of JT grills that I bought for like a couple of quid because my dog that I had at the time chewed the foam and the frame from the inside. Of course, with JT grills, you could swap that part out. So I bought this one off a lad at an event for I think it was 15 quid. Swapped the part out, sold my mask on that I didn't want anymore, and we tested out the lens on this V-Force grill. And I think I'm sure there was like 6 of us shooting at it from near point blank and we were just raining paint down on it, and it just took the shots. I think the first part that actually broke was eventually the nose started to give way on the mask and started to go in, but the lens just took it. This must have been about, I would say, an easy 600 shots went into the face of this mask, and it just kept taking it. The FMA mask can't even take like 3 or 4 by the looks of it. That's just not right. Right, so what we're saying here. Don't know why people can't just use. Why people just. Long shift. Don't know why people just can't use. Can't beat the JT Proflex. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that. I wouldn't be surprised if the frame on that is probably knocking on 20-year-old. I would guess maybe he's 15 years old. All right, that is actually a new clear lower faceplate, and it's a relatively new lens, but it's a tried and tested mask system. You just can't beat them. There is nothing wrong with a set of JTs. I think there must be a wagon reversing in the street behind us. But yeah, JTs, in my opinion, they're the best mask that I've ever worn so far. I tried the JT grills, not JT, the V-Force grills. Had problems with them. I wore events for a very long time. Actually, not a bad mask, but I still prefer the JTs to them. I had a set of I4s that I wore when I was playing tournament ball for quite a while. Loved them, but I just like JTs better. There's so much customization and so like not very much fog. Well, I think lately, and I think it's because my level of fitness has gone down, I've started to fog up more, but the mask doesn't fog up, it's my glasses, which I don't know why that's the situation. Sure. Right, anyway. Chan in the van is not a high impact sport. It's full penetration though. Oh, yeah. Love a good paint pie. No, it's cream pie. The full auto Phantom, yeah, the full auto Phantom was Tritech. I spoke to Chan about this a while ago. I'll probably mention it to him again. But I was thinking about seeing if I could recreate the full auto Phantom. The thing is, I'm not exactly sure how I did it in the first place. I think it was something to do with having different valve springs in and stuff, and having too high of an input or something on it. So it could be done again. I'm kind of hoping it could be done again because I think it was fucking brilliant when it happened. And the same thing though, the same thing happened on us with the Hammer 7 that I bought a few years back. The only thing is, I had first strikes in it. It just vented down the barrel and blew with the entire mag of first strikes straight out the other end. It's like I used that gun for about 5 minutes. Took it to the chronograph range. At Stargate went poop. And it went nah. Just went and took it back. Like no, just we're not doing that. The Spectre 270's been around since 1960. 60 fucking hell. I need sleep. The Spectre 270's been around since 1996/97. Yeah. And before that, obviously, you had the JT Elite. It is a tried and tested mask system. I mean, it's been around now for over 20 years. And still going strong. I had the argument a while ago with somebody about the new push masks. And I'm willing to accept that the push mask might be amazing. But when you're looking to buy a mask, now obviously a lot of on a budget. The push mask, I think, is something like, what, 150 quid. Now, yes, you get a little mask case with it. And you know, if I had the money, I might even buy one myself and try one out. But not a lot of people have got 150 quid to blow on a mask. And there was somebody giving it the argument of, oh, but it's a high-end mask. It's like, yeah, but this is a high-end mask. There is still tournament players playing at the highest of high ends wearing these masks. And now, yeah, they're not a new release, but you can buy a brand new set of these for like 50, well, not even 50 quid. I think you can buy a brand new set of JTs for like 45 quid. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work things out, you know. Top quality mask for cheap. More money for paint and entry. For the cost of push mask, which, yes, okay, I'm willing to accept, may be the greatest mask that has ever been made. But for the cost of that mask, you can buy yourself a set of JTs, a box of paint, and entry fee into a big game. Right, I've got a mask you could use as a comparison with that cheap shit. Mate, I wouldn't even use a secondary mask as a comparison. Because I know I've got I think I've still got a JT Spectra JT Elite goggle system. I was planning on giving to a mate who does airsoft. I was thinking about giving to a mate who does airsoft. And I would quite happily put that up against one of these masks, and I've got every faith it would pass. The FMA, like I said, everyone who tests it, you just have the same problem of them falling to bits. And I'll be kind of tempted, as I said earlier on, to buy one for round ball, one for first strike, and then one to just ramp on. I would also be kind of tempted to try buying an I4 lens just to see if it fits, and even if it does fit, to see how well it holds up with the mask. Because I think that from what people have told us, because I've never touched one of these FMA masks in person, from what people have told us, the plastic on them is so flimsy, it wouldn't even hold a proper lens in it. It wouldn't even hold an I4 lens in it without it breaking. So, is there any point? Is there any point in putting a dye lens in if it's just gonna ruin it? I don't think so. But I think anyone who has any experience with paintball knows you can take a couple of shots to the lens quite happily and crack on. With the FMA mask, if it just caves in after a couple of shots, alright, yes, you know, you have to kind of assume that everyone's a moron when you do some of these things. But I don't think we need to go that far with this. If it won't hold up to a couple of shots, people are hopefully going to have the brains to not use them. Lovely. But yeah, hopefully people just won't be that stupid that they'll try them. And what I really hope is that no one's stupid enough to try putting one on and then testing it. Yeah, Ben, I would love a set as well. I would love to get my hands on a set just to try them out. But yeah, it's about £50 a lens. So I can't see that being feasible. I don't think it's a viable option. Not for most players. But I was talking to I think it was Rich Weidenbaum. That night I went down into the live stream with him and Paul Strutt. And according to Rich, it might have been the game on the Sunday, but according to Rich, he was telling us a bit of the history about the push masks. And it's another one of these stories where it was somebody who worked for a company, I think it was like Dye or something, was putting ideas forward and was basically told, no, we're going to do our thing. So they then went off, became independent, brought out their own mask. And apparently the lenses use like technology from like the astronauts' visors and stuff, which I can, if that's true, no, it was on the live link. Well, if it's on the live link, then fair enough. Thank you very much for correctness. Um, but if it's using stuff that was on the astronauts' helmets, then I can kind of understand why it's got a high price mark, and I really can. But still, £50 for a lens. You know, again, going back to Fat Bob's. Right, what we got? JT. Right, can I find can I find a lens here? JT Spectra lens. Bloody hell, they've actually gone up in price since I last looked at them. £21 for just the regular thermal lenses. For a chrome lens, £25. For the nice chrome lenses, 26. It's the prism lenses. That's the one. Oh. So yeah, it's. I mean, I'm a lot happier with the idea of paying like 20 quid for a lens. And for the most part, I think I've got one set of JTs that has a tinted lens in it. I've got one set of JTs that has a blue lens in it, and I've got a set of JTs that has a gold lens in it. That's me chameleons that are the sort of I can't remember what the proper colour's called, but it's like the blue chameleons with gold frame, gold lens in them. I think they look really sleek. They look like really sort of showy. But I'm much happier with the idea of paying that than I am with like the idea of paying 50 quid. But if they are all bells and whistles, like, you know, apparently like the nose is adjustable on the push masks and everything, and JT pimping, damn right. No, because he wasn't happy with you stop you dead in your tracks with you and said about the JT being as good. Hey, to me, like I said, you can't beat JTs. If I'm gonna have to at some point try the push gogs, and if they are that good, then I will retract all previous statements. And if they are that good, considering how much of a fanboy I am, I mean, I've got in my bedroom here now, in the spare bedroom, I've got four different JT gogs, and I've got me olive fake OGs here. I mean, this isn't a proper OG frame, but me fake clear bottoms. I mean, well, they're the new clear bottoms. They're real. They're just not the original run. I've got my Urban Camels. My clear Proteus. And my full black goggles. Well, not quite full black. It's got my green Tora headband on. But that's just the ones that I have here. I think I've got my blue Proteus with the gold frames and stuff. I think I've got a second set of OG olive green frames. I've got something else that's got me I'm not sure if it's me blue gogs. I've got basically I must have all in all about 8 or 9 sets of JTs. And your man titties, yep. But yeah, if I was to try a set of the push gogs, and I started saying that they were amazing, you can bet your ass that they're amazing, because to me JTs are the best that there is on the market. They're the best that has ever been on the market. So if I do say something about, if I was to get my hands on a set of the push gogs and they are that good, I'll tell you that they're that good, and you can take that as a true endorsement. Right. Is Soho sponsored by Push? Well, I mean, if he is, then, well, good on him. If Push wants to send me a set of gogs, I'm more than happy to trial them. But if they're shit, then I would say that they're shit. And that is something that I will swear to now, and that is for anyone that ever wants to send us gear. If you invite us to a game and it is shit, I'll tell people it's shit. If you send us a piece of equipment and want us to try it out and it is shit, I'll tell people it's shit. But if it's good, I'll tell people it's good. Now, I'm not saying that Soho doesn't do that. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that is what I would do. But that would explain how Soho probably knows a bit of the history around the goggles, because obviously I don't. I'm just somebody that's read some stuff online and seen things. That's all. Right. Am I the only one thinking masks and hoppers have doubled in price while markers are coming down? Yeah. Well, I don't know about the high end stuff. I definitely think that hoppers and masks do seem to be going up in price, at least for the new stuff. I mean, you can get a set of i4s for like 70 quid, but considering I paid about 70 quid for mine when I bought them, no, I think it was about 90 quid when I bought my i4s, relatively new at the time. In fact, they were brand new set. I bought them at a tournament event. It was a CPBS event. I played them all day, absolutely loved them. And for, I think it was like maybe a year, 2 years, I wore my i4s nearly all the time. Right, but hoppers, that's another one. Hoppers have definitely gone up in price, or at least it seemed to be the case for a while. I'm not sure when the original die rotor came out, but when I bought my die rotor, and I did buy it through a shop on like a team bulk buy deal, I paid £75 for my die rotor when the first were released. Within a few months of them being released, I think they were up to about 120, and then they seemed like they went higher and higher again. Alright. But yeah, I definitely would agree that the prices are going up. While guns, I don't know about the high end, because I just don't pay any attention to the high end stuff, which I may have to change if I'm going to do this and announce things and try and promote stuff. But yeah, I don't really pay that much attention to the high end stuff because I've got no real interest in high end tournament guns. I think it would be nice to have one, but I can play reasonably well with my E-Tech 3, and I used to play reasonably well with like all like Eagle 8s and stuff. And I think the newest Eagle that I ever personally owned was an Eagle 5. Other than that, it's been I think was E-Tech. Well, my E-Tech 3. My E-Tech 3 was the highest tech sort of Eclipse gun that I've ever owned. I think. I just, the Eclipse gear is built to last. It's not like other companies that just build something that's then going to fall to bits after a couple of years. Alright. But Soho is sponsored by Push. Well, again, if he is, power to him. As long as he's not bullshitting, which I'm not saying he is. Don't want anybody to get the wrong idea there. All I'm saying, he's free to be sponsored by whoever he is. If somebody wants to offer me sponsorship, you're free to offer it. But like I said, be aware that if it's shit, I will tell people it's shit. But yeah, I mean, power to anyone that gets a sponsorship, go for it. If you're happy, just anybody that gets a sponsorship, I implore them not to bullshit people, because you're not helping anybody, and it just ruins your reputation if the item turns out to be shit. Right, so 2009, yeah, that would make sense, Ben. It would make sense that the rotor came out around 2009. So I think it was when I was kind of really getting into Tony Ball. So, and I think I stopped playing Tony Ball around about 2011. I think. I'm not even sure on that exactly. I'm not naming names, Chan. But I did have at least one gun by that company that never worked right. Didn't matter what you did with it, didn't matter any tuning or anything. It just didn't work right. It was actually really really funny. So, and I mean, one of the things that was in it, the whole eye pipe thing, was just the amount of people that like shot those out was just ridiculous. That was a bad design, but yes, it was that. No, I think mine it was the 8, not the 9. But it never worked right. It was like, the old, when you say like old cars where you've got to actually like do the crank start on them, or the generator that we used to have up at Universal Paintball, where you actually got to crank start them. It felt like I was shooting one of those. Used to like, you would be walking the trigger and it would go pop 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 pop, and then start firing. Every time you pulled the trigger, it would. No, I only had an 8. I never had the 9. But because I'm sure it was there not the day mm, was there not the 9 that came out the same year as the NT? Because we had, I can't remember what their names were, but there was two wee kids that started it. I mean, they'll be grown blokes now, but yes, yeah. Well, it was olive. It was olive green. No, not olive green. Yeah, it was. You're right. It was tan and brown. The NT to 2010. Yeah, because can you remember there was the two lads, and like I said, they'll be grown men now. That the fact that they were kids at the time is relevant because it was, chances are, like, yeah, I was probably bought by their parents, and the NT was sort of sold as being this amazing marker, and granted, if you got one that worked, probably was, but no, not the tattooists. It was two kids, and they did actually play with lockdown for a while. I think at least one of them did. One had this. It was like a nice creamy white NT, and I can't remember what the other one was. What the other one's NT looked like, but they literally fell to bits in the lads' hands. I remember there was one of them in the safe zone. His gun just like seems like it just crumbled. Like, I feel so sorry for you because they were really bloody expensive. I'm sure like the NT was something like £900 when they first came out. They were bloody expensive, and it just collapsed. Hmm? What ring? What, that? The ring looks like it's going to cause my finger to drop off. It's not even tight. It's not even on there particularly tight. Yeah. He has me losing weight, and you're saying that I look like I've got a sausage finger? What is it with paint getting smaller? It's right paint for people like me with old school markers. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it does seem like paint is getting smaller, and the only thing I can think, Albert, for stuff like that is if you can maybe if you know anyone that does machining, you can maybe get them to freak ball like their stock barrel for whatever gun it is that you've got, and maybe that would work. But even then, you're having to modify something that shouldn't have to be modified. Now there is a couple of old tactics and tricks that you can use. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Ben knows a few of these. What's the matter? What? I'm pointing out that, all I'm saying is if we knew somebody that does machining. Yeah, shameless plug. Actually, Chan, do you reckon you could make some like paintball related butt plugs? I'm not saying I'd use it, but somebody might. I know a guy. Asking for a friend. Yes, widgets. I mean, I don't know where my CCI Phantom is, my stock class Phantom, but with the Phantom, yeah, Rich might. You should see if you can, like, stick a chain on it or something, leading to like a fairy tale, and Or just straight out the back of the plug. And make it like a Chewbacca tail or something, you'll buy them all. But, right. So yeah, you've got stuff like the nail varnish trick, or I've heard about people putting like little bits of sticky tape on the inside of barrels. Yeah, Sterling's brass lined. Yeah, that you could probably still bore it, but would you really want to bore a brass lined barrel? I'm guessing not. I wouldn't want to. So you then are left with stuff like widgets, but even then, yeah, looking at having like a massive overball once the ball passes the widget. But I know with like stuff like that, stuff like my cocker pump. Once it's all well and good when you cock it, a ball will drop in and it's held in place by the detent. But the moment you pump forward, and it's the same with even with traditional cockers, with normal cockers, once that ball goes back forward, it pushes the ball back past the detent, and then if you don't fire straight away, you get rollout. Unless, I mean, at least with stuff like that, you can underbore it a little bit if you've got a barrel that's smaller, or at least small enough, and you stop the rollouts a bit. But if you go too small, or you get an over large ball in a bag of relatively smaller paint, you do run the risk of a barrel burst, and then you've got to try and clean your barrel, or try and shoot through. If you're shooting with a semi-auto, that's an option, but it's not a good option. Bore brass line barrels and make new brass insert. It's an option, Chan. Would it be much work to do? Because Chan, Albert, you might want to have a conversation there. There you go. It's an option, Albert. It's something that you could look at. Yes, I am at it. And proud. So, going off recommendations, something that was brought up I think it was in the last live stream, about the idea that I need some paintball related something going on in the background. I've got something planned. So for next week's live stream, I might actually have something sorted out. I'm not going to say what it is yet, because that'll spoil it, I think. But I had a word with my missus. I got her permission, and we've decided, we reckon, that it'll be easy enough to get rid of and hide when we finally decide to sell our house. So I've got a permission for to be able to do something in my own house, because we all know that they're really the ones that are in charge. Shoot the glass. Is it my last strumming myself with a phantom? No. I'm the one that does the pumping in here. Oh no, that was perfectly balanced. It's fallen over now. Alright. I know an easy way, just do the live feed from the BZ shop. That would be fantastic, but that would mean that I would have to drive 2 hours every Wednesday night to go do my live feed. Now, it could be done. It certainly could be done, and I'm sure it would be a lot easier for to do, in certain aspects of it. Like being able to sit and have conversations with other players and stuff and get people in, but I also don't know how BZ would feel about us standing in the shop for 2 hours, taking up space, making a noise. Sound like a noise there. Shoot the glass. What glass? This glass? No. It's my stolen Foster's pint glass. I'm not shooting it. But something... No, I'm looking around all over the place here. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. Chan. My Star Wars my Star Wars pump. I still have plans for this. Not the pump handle, because I mean the pump handle is awesome. But I mean I kind of was wondering if I get the pump handle anode like to look more like a lightsaber, and then have the barrel neon green or something. So I thought that would be kind of cool. I think my wife's home. But I still want to turn this into like a full-on shotgun, because what I was thinking. Go on, sure. Yes, that's it. I think it would be awesome, wouldn't it? Get it done like a proper lightsaber, neon green barrel, but I kind of do want to turn this into a shotgun. The other thing is, if I only got the barrel done like that, the rest of the gun would kind of like let it down a bit. I think the fact that the rest of the gun wouldn't look like a lightsaber as well is a bit of a downer. Unless the only thing I can think of for that is if I kind of went, it would just be a case of mask and stripes and then anno barrel. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, and you'd have a better idea than me, you know, because being the Star Wars nerd. But what I suppose I could do is if make like a thumb grip or something, more like a pirated grip. So hold it a bit more like that instead of having the M16 grip, and then pump it that way with the bucket changer out the back. It might look a little bit more sort of space agey, Star Trek-y, not Star Trek, Star Warsy like that. You reckon? Maybe. But yeah, I think it could be done. But at the same time, this is the one that I was thinking about going down the lines of pump action shotgun with, because if I can find a, I don't know. Shut my whole mouth, fucking Star Trek. Oh, what's wrong with Star Trek? To infinity and beyond and all that sort of stuff, you know. BZ did themselves a couple of years ago in the for homos. BZ did themselves a couple of years ago in the old shop, got a couch and had people play Greg Hastings paintball on Xbox. Yeah, well, I can't remember if last time I was down there if they still had if they actually still had the sofas and stuff. But I can remember when they did have sofas in there. And that's Toy Story. What's Toy Story? The lightsabers. But yeah, but I mean, it would be quite good. I mean, I do think it would be fun to maybe do a live stream from down in there one night. But I don't know about making it every night. Well, every like time I do a live stream, because it is a bit of a drive for us to go down there and to do the live stream. So maybe, you know, in the future I might contact BZ and ask how they feel about the idea of doing a live stream down there. Because I think what would be quite good to do is actually have have a few people come down and join in the conversation down there, live in the shop. I think that'd be a nice one, because if then, as well as that, if there's anything that BZ wanted to show off, they could. But as well as that, I mean, I think the other one that could be done, now it's a case of going further afield, but doing these sort of live streams from sites as well, or even other shops, like maybe drive down to York and go to Fat Bob's one night, or go to District 23 and doing a live stream from there like I did the last time. I would probably, if I was going to do a live stream from somewhere like District 23, I think it'd be better to see if I could actually organise a game night and then have people go out and play, so that there would actually be other players there that could come and get involved, come and join in the conversation, have a bit of a chat and stuff, and you know, then they can watch it back later on and they can see themselves in a live stream. I think something that might be a really fun idea to do. Or even maybe go down like on a, say like to District 23, go down on a Friday night, even if I'm not playing myself, but again, sit and do a live stream for a few hours and sit and talk with people. I think it could just be a nice idea. Infinity and Beyond. What about Star Trek? But yes, so what I was getting at about this is, what I kind of want to do is remove the M16 adaptation kit. Take the air adapter out of the back, and I've got a T stock with I think it's a micro CA with it for the inbuilt 12 gram, like the bucket changer thing. I really should go and get some sleep. So yeah, thinking about putting the bucket changer on the back with the stock, and I'm not sure if it's worth buying. I loved Spock in Return of the Jedi. I know he was great, wasn't he? It's like, and the fact that he sacrificed his life for Kirk in that film as well was just amazing. Once they got the younglings out, it was, just so. But then go with that. So maybe put a centre feed body on, like the stock class bodies, so I can screw it on, screw it off, and put a spring feed over the top, so it would be more like full on pump action shotgun. It would be, instead of it being under barrel fed, it would be over barrel fed, but the look would be relatively similar. And the Empire Strikes Kirk, I know that was the best one. It's like when Kirk fought with the Ewoks was just amazing. I really didn't think he was going to get out of it. Make a proper Kentucky rifle. What, like the Winchesters? Could be done. What do you mean something else? Shut your little bitch mouths. What's the matter? Is Daddy Obi-Wan not happy? Are you still cosplaying as Obi-Wan, by the way? I don't mean that. I'm just reading that as well. But nah, just a long rifle. Yeah, a long rifle would be kind of cool, but it wouldn't be very good for room clearance. So I must admit, you do make a good young Obi-Wan. And now Han Solo. No, mate. Han Solo has to stay your lass's cosplay. I think Hannah Solo is awesome. And better than when Kirk fought Dumbledore in the New Hope. Yeah. That was it. I mean, I can't believe when he cut Harry's legs off, though. Chan Wan Kenobi. Oh. Alright. So, but yeah, I do think it would be quite a nice build, because so far, every time I've seen sort of like shotgun builds, they've all been done like with Hammer 7s, and some of them look friggin' amazing, because the Hammer 7, sure, the Hammer 7, I'll read that in a second, Chan. The Hammer 7 was a great platform for modifying off. We're getting, like, looking at some of the builds that people have done using the Hammer 7. You've got some, like, fantastic sniper rifle builds. Things that can, sort of almost go shot for shot with things like the SAR 12, which was custom designed specifically for sniping. And you've got, of course, with it being a pump action, it's, you've got builds that look beautiful for pump action shotguns because it's just designed right for it. Fantastic. But unfortunately, I think I just had a bad experience with the Hammer 7. I think it wasn't really designed for just sticking a tank straight on the back and trying to go out and play as I did. Great for room clearance, fix bayonet and bang door open with the stock, then fuck shit up. Yeah, it's all well and good using the stock to bang a door open, but then when you cannot get it turned in the doorway, it's no good. But I think we still need to see about doing the whole designing we need to design a barrel, like a BBD bayonet. I still think if a little, like a fake bayonet or a fake knife tipping something like the the Tipman barrel plug, I think that would be fantastic, especially if you put like a bayonet lug underneath, even just a torch mount underneath your barrel, so that when you pull the plug out, you can slot it into that, and then it'll look like your fixed bayonet. Of course, it'll just be a barrel plug, but I think it would look really cool. And I don't think it would be that difficult to create either. I mean, I suppose they'll probably have to be 3D printed, or if you're going to go, if they're going to be like mass produced, they'd probably have to be like injection molded or something like that. Like, I would imagine that the Tipman barrel plug was probably injection molded, but I don't think it'd be that hard to do a mock up. But I do have some ideas every now and then, which I think could be fun. But I don't know. I don't know if they're actually good ideas or not. I have ideas all the time, but frankly, most of them are just terrible. Yeah. Ooh, I've seen when you go onto my homepage, it says that I've actually got a current live stream active. Oh, right. I'm still curious though as to what the situation is with me chat channel, because I want the chat channel to be active when people like just waiting in the lobby before my live stream starts. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to see what I can do. Anyway, now that I've got a few more people in here that weren't in earlier, it seems like a great time for to go back over a couple of things that I've got in here. See, I'm all about trying to encourage people to get down to games, get involved, go out and play, go to games that they wouldn't necessarily have known about. Or, I mean, of course, we've all got Facebook. You know, people know when this game's getting promoted, but I still want to push them out there. Still want to try and get more people to go down and play. So there's a couple of games going on this weekend, and I want to give them a bit of free publicity. So there is the Mayhem Christmas Walk On, which is on Sunday the 9th. There's looking to be around about 100 players, according to predictions. There will be a charity raffle. Entry is £50, including a box of paint, if you book in advance. For more details, check out www.mayhempaintball.co.uk/book. There is also campaign, the Great Big Turkey Shoot, which is on Sunday the 9th as well. Entry is £25. Paint retails anywhere from £27 up over, obviously, or it's bring your own. There is food included and a raffle. For more details, contact info@campaignpaintball.com. I will include links to those in the description after this video, so if anybody who's watching this afterwards, even if you missed the game, check out those sites, and you know, hopefully you can get down there, you can play a few games and have a bit of a laugh at some point. And as I said, hopefully we can get a few people playing those games, because the more people that we get going to games, the better the industry's going to be for us, and the more people that will have to shoot. So it's win-win all around. Right. Oh, as I said earlier on as well, there's obviously a couple more people in here now than there was earlier on. I don't think we need to go over the FMA masks, because they, of course, were talked about earlier on. But UZ, which are the clip-in glasses for goggles, they are now available in the US and Canada. So if you're looking for a set of those, now obviously that's not any good for us in the UK at the moment for glasses wearers. However, it is something to look at in the future. They may start shipping over into the UK if there is actually a market for them. And the other thing is, Paintball Magazine is considering hosting an awards ceremony in November of next year. You can find there is a poll on this. I think there was a poll on this over on some of the Facebook pages. I think there was one on UK Paintball. I've shared a link on UK Paintball. If not, you can find them at Paintball Magazine on Facebook. So go vote in the poll, have your say. Tell them if you think having an awards ceremony would be a good idea or a bad idea. Personally, I like the idea of an awards ceremony, providing that it is biased, and you know, I don't know how it would work, but as long as the ceremony itself is unbiased, sorry, then I think this could be a great idea. However, of course, there will be the risk of people making accusations, but it is what it is. Hopefully, the work that they do could show that they are unbiased and trying to do good work. Uh, yeah, I said they have a poll on Facebook. Right, the ceremony would include obviously an award ceremony, a trade show, so players could get down there and talk with from the player side of things, talk with people in the industry, talk with, I don't know, possibly popular YouTubers if there was any paintball YouTubers who decided to go along, or anything like that. And also from the other side of it, members of the industry could talk to players directly at the event ceremony, and in a more of a laid back environment, I suppose, find out what players actually want. Not that players are shy of telling people in the industry anyway. But if it's like previous events, there would probably also be a party involved somewhere along the lines as well. Right. Has anybody got any input? Then anything that they would like to suggest? Ah, I'm gasping. Anything? Anything at all? Ah. Well, the only other thing that we did have was that I talked about a little bit earlier on was the paintball up, guns downs situation, which I do think is. I mean, it's a bit old now, so I don't think there's that much need to go back over it. Other than I'm actually struggling with a set of JTs for a second. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's really that much need to go back over the paintball up, guns down thing. Um, it's it's just a bit unfortunate if anything did happen to any of those guys. But I do think it was a good idea. It was just probably, I would say it was poorly executed. Hopefully none of them were. But that's it. But I think that will pretty much do it for today, unless anyone has any topics that they'd like to have covered. And I'll probably leave it there. I'll give it a couple of seconds in case somebody wants to post something up. And yeah, I think we'll call it quits for today. I've enjoyed having a talk with you, and as I said before, I am constantly trying to improve my setup, trying to create like new ways of talking with you and communicating with you, and hopefully, if you still stick with us, this can only grow on to better and better things. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a few more people to join the conversations in future, because so far this has grown time and time. And we'll have a bit of a laugh, we'll have some conversations, and hopefully we'll get some people talking. What's your take on the whole Milsim side of paintball? Do you think it's given paintball a bad image in the media? Well, I was planning on wrapping this up, but that's actually quite a good one. Right, Milsim and the media. I don't think it's all going to come down to how the media decide to spin things at the moment that they decide to spin it. I want to say no, but I also can't. I can't help but think, yeah, it probably doesn't look good. I mean, when you've got grown blokes running around in military fatigues using replica weaponry and stuff, and they're doing it very deadly serious, then I think quite often you are going to run into a scenario of them thinking it's like paramilitary sort of stuff. Too much like playing army. The thing is, to me, I mean, my first experience of paintball was basically playing army. My first experience of paintball was it was on a farmer's land up in the countryside of Northumberland somewhere. I would love to find out where it was, but there's no way I'm going to do that now, unless I make connections with family that I don't talk to anymore. But basically, when I was a little kid, I was probably about 6 year old. Um, my grandfather was into like metal detecting and things like that, and he was always into like going and working on farmers' land when he was young, when he was a younger man, and he had a lot of friends that were farmers. Well, there was my granddad and one of his cousins had, well, there was me, and my granddad's cousin had three grandsons that were, one was the same age as me, one was a year older, one was a year younger. So the two olders, my granddad and his cousin, my uncle Tom, and my three cousins would all go up to this farmer's land where there was some forts on it, and there was like some forts where like 3 stories high forts, and there was like castles and stuff in the woods, and there was all these little pellets all over the ground that were bright colours and they were full of paint or this like liquid, and a lot of them were big and swollen up. Obviously, I didn't know what this was, but but I didn't know what this was at the time. But it turned out this was paintball, and that I learned as I got a little bit older what this was. But we used to go up this place quite regular, and we're told as long as there's no games going on, you can go out and play. So we used to run around with our toy guns and stuff at the time. They precursors to Nerf and basically bang bang, I got you sort of thing. And we used to play like that. And now these guys, I don't even know if it was outlaw ball or if it was a proper site. But we used to then, like, if we weren't playing with with our toy guns, we'd squirt the paintballs at each other. I grew up a little bit. This kind of started off my interest as I wanted to be able to play the game where you got to shoot real things at your friends and didn't kill them. So I then went on, and when we used to like paint camouflage on our face and cover ourselves with twigs and things that were going to be more camouflage, and we used to wear like you know army surplus gear for, well, I suppose it was kids surplus gear, but we used to do that, and that was us playing soldiers. And now as I'm getting older, I found that when you're playing a combat sport like paintball, the idea of having tactical vests on and with plates in them, loads of pouches all over, and having like real military surplus gear on and military boots and proper fast helmets and stuff. A lot of this gear is completely unnecessary. Now, I still think a lot of this stuff looks good, but it's unnecessary for what we do. So it's not my style of play because for the most part, I'm quite minimalist in what I want to carry on the field. But I can appreciate it. Now, on one hand, I love the idea of people going out there and playing how they want, and if they want to LARP when they're playing, power to them. Go out, it's almost like the whole let your freak flag fly sort of thing. Go out, have fun, enjoy yourself. But at the same time, as you said there, there has been people have used it for terrorist training. Now, if you're going out there and I don't think it's so much like if you are, properly dressing yourself like British Army. I think anyone that's dressing themselves like replica 1-to-1 British Army. In fact, I don't think you're going to find them as being the type of people that are going to be doing terrorist training. I don't even think that most of the milsimmers that don't go for pure replica are going to be doing terrorist training. I think it's something that when the government's looking at it, it does look very much along the lines of, oh, this is a group of guys that are training for fighting. We all know, anyone who has played paintball for any length of time knows paintball is no good for real combat sort of training. Because when you're playing paintball and you can run up and hide behind a wall that is that thick of like with MDF. Now we all know that in a real war zone, that sheet of MDF is going to protect you from in a game of paintball. Anything larger than like a 2-2 is going straight through that wood, and you're dead. That's the thing in real combat. It's like when one of my little brothers, when like years ago, I was told he wanted to join the Marines, and I never got round to doing it. I never had the chance to, but I'd said at the time, I told my dad, if he still wants to do it, I'll take him to a day's paintball, because I think anyone that wants to do something like join the army, I think they should experience airsoft or paintball beforehand, just to see how easy it is to be hit when you're playing a game. Not real life, a game. Now, I think part of that is the fact that in paintball, I mean, in paintball, there's a little bit of fear. But in airsoft, there is no fear of being hit, really. So there's no, well, I better hide and make sure that I'm hidden. Because the only thing that you're going to lose is you might lose the game or you might lose a life in the game. But you're not actually going to die. So, but I'm drifting away from the point anyway. But I think in when you've got like governors and stuff, and you know you're not what governors or civil servants, politicians, whatever, that are looking at it, and I think in some regards, some aspects of paintball, which would then reflect on all aspects of paintball and airsoft, all it takes is one nutter to do something that gets the attention or the ire of the right people, and it would come crashing down on all of them, which obviously is not something that any of us want. Now, I think, unfortunately, I think that the group of people that is probably most likely, and I'm talking about dedicated players, the group that is most likely to do something like that at the minute is the Magfed community. But that is not an attack on the Magfed community itself. I think it's just that because the other guys that are doing stuff that looks realistic, they are going to be the ones that, if the wrong attention comes around, they will be the ones that get looked at. Now, what I would like to see, well, it's not something I want to see happen, but I think it's something that is possibly necessary, is that if you want to go down the route of realistic looking equipment, and possibly even non-realistic looking equipment, is the whole sort of thing of like the reasonable defense like airsoft has. The problem is that I think if something like that was to come into place, it would potentially drive regular players away because it would be another hurdle in the process of getting into the game. Like, if you need reasonable defense for to come and play paintball, you can't just buy a gun. You know, I can't just buy that, come to a site and play. If you wanted to, like, if you then had to buy a license for to be able to go out and buy something like that, not even a license, but reasonable defense, then you run the risk of me just going, well, nah, it's not worth it. I'll stay home and play Call of Duty instead. Right. But yeah, I mean, mate, I've heard. I mean, I used to work at Universal years ago. I worked at Delta Force for a little while years ago, and both of them had been raided by police before because of the risk or the chance that there might have been terrorists training there, and they'd come in and they'd see who had booked in, and I suppose they'd compare that with like lists of, if you know, known jihadis or anything like that, or known religious extremists or political extremists, and see if there was any correlation. See who was playing on the site on those days. It never actually happened when I was there, but I've heard of these things happening. But that's something that isn't new. The milsim aspect has always been there, though. Yeah, you're right, Ben. It's true, but for a long time, for a long time, paintball tried to get away from the milsim aspect. Now, there was always a group of players that did want to play milsim, which is, as I've said, perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly reasonable. But there has always been, as you said, that group of milsim players, those guys that wanted to dress up. I mean, I remember when I first started playing, there was, I think it was some guys put videos called the Black Cell or something, and they were the guys that were like running around in the snow with urban camo on, I think it's like some snow camo, and they were using longbow kits on ions and stuff, and it looked really cool. And that's it. That's what I mean. The whole milsim sort of stuff. It looks cool. It's just not my style, and I appreciate that. But I don't know. I don't know what'll happen in the future, and I really hope, because I don't want anyone's fun to be spoiled. I really hope that there's no idiot fucks all this up for me. There was a point a day the paper found out that some people who be arrested on terrorism charges had been there, I think, mayhem on one of their Magfed games, and put two and two together. You see, now that's the sort of shit that happens. But the problem is, how was mayhem supposed to know that? Unless these guys were like high profile, like, you know, I don't know, like Anjem Chowdhury or something. I think it's Anjem Chowdhury, he's one of the radical preachers. or Abu Hansa, holding the marker with his hook hands or something. Unless it's someone like that that rocks up to a punter day, how are you supposed to know? Yeah, it's how are you supposed to know who they are and if they've had problems with the law before? Now, obviously, I think if Mayhem did have somebody rock up who was a known extremist and they knew who he was, I think that's one thing. But if it's just somebody that's maybe on a watch list, I mean, fuck's sake, any of us could be on a watch list, that for all we know. And then for the entire game to be tarred with the brush because like one nutter has done something and then decided to go with his family and play paintball, it's utterly ridiculous. I hate the whole idea of people being tarred with the same brush because one nutter does something. It's kind of like you'll have like an online campaign or something. Like let's say for example the Gamergate controversy a few years back. You had people that were going, hang on, there's collusion between journalists and there's like journalists and game developers, and because there was a couple of nutters decided to message those people, everyone was tarred as being like racists and sexists and hate mongers and all this sort of stuff. But it was a couple of knobheads that weren't even necessarily tied to either group. Right. The new MagFed craze makes it worse. Well, I think MagFed seems to be slowing down at the same sort of rate as everything else. I don't think there's as unless of course I'm just banned from those pages or I'm not in certain pages or anything like that. But MagFed seems to be calming down. I think in the early days of MagFed there was a lot of nutters were getting involved, but either they've blocked us or they've gone. It could be either way. But it, I do think there is still nutters there that just hopefully not gonna cause problems. I do think a sort of UK VRA thing will come into force. I wouldn't be surprised, mate, if it does come into force. It's not necessarily something that I want to see, because I think the more bureaucracy that is involved with things, it just gets more and more complicated. But I could see it happening. Back to what you were saying earlier, could rock into just with £50 and walk out with a gat, propellant, balls, and a hopper and go shoot people. That's what I was getting at. It's true. I mean, you can go like, I think one of the worst perpetrators for stuff like that was things like the Walmart guns, where things like Brass Eagle blades, where you got, I mean, all right, the guns were terrible, but I think it was like you got like a Brass Eagle blade, a couple of 12-gram sparklets, the hopper to go with it, which on the later models was an integrated hopper, a whole load of I think they were like Monster Ball or something, and some CO2. So you basically had everything that you need there to play paintball in your back garden, or to just plink at targets, or to do drive-bys on people, like a knobhead. Of course, it's stuff like that then you get some knobhead who does buy one for his kid or something. Has his kid has a few goes with it and goes, "Oh, that was fun, thanks very much," and then never bothers with it again. Who then this knobhead goes, "Here, me and me mates will go out in the Corsair and we'll go and blat some mad granny walking to the chippy." And say those people just need put down. If you told Steve Bull from the UK PSF paintball has been so close to being banned in the UK a lot of times, oh yeah, I know Bully has done a hell of a lot of work to keep paintball going before, and it's a shame that Bully seems to have taken a step back from the game. Really close in the 90s, yeah. I've got no doubt. I mean, come on. You look at go back to the 90s. It was when the Dunblane massacre happened, when all of our gun laws basically came into effect the way they are now. The whole sort of mass shooting thing is only a relatively new thing across the world. I mean, like in the States, there wasn't really mass shootings. I mean, I think what was the first big one? The Columbine shooting, and that was probably like the 90s as well or something. Before that, I mean, there was shootings, but there wasn't people going around with like automatic weapons and killing loads of people or anything. But yeah, I mean, I think, well, I mean, paintball hadn't really long started in the 90s. And I know that in the early days of paintball, there was a lot of problems. But I'm just going to go get something. I'll be back in a sec. Steve did a lot with the UK PSF, and I've offered to help before, but it seems a closed shop. I don't know what's going on with the UK PSF anymore. I haven't been a member for a few years, and I feel guilty about that. But it, they've just kind of gone radio silent for the most part. Right, got a copy of this off Amazon a little while ago. Well, I think it was a couple of years ago now that I got this. It's the Complete Guide to Paintball. I think it's the 2003 edition. It's I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, I did have a 2004 edition, but I lent it to someone and never got it back. I mean, it was by that point I'd read it that much when it was the early days I was playing paintball that it nearly fallen to bits. But I'm sure there is a thing in here. Hang on, what's that? Oh, the JT Sportscom, but for like the normal JT goggles, not for the Proteus, like not the inbuilt ones. This is for the JT normal goggles. All right. I don't know if you'll be able to see how well you'll be able to see that. You see that? The Sportscom. Like, do you think you could find one of those anywhere now? Right. But I don't think there's actually any prices on any of this stuff now. In here. But that's not why I'm looking for this, right? I'm looking for the info on. It was there's something in this about when paintball was first started. I think there was this book for. No, it's not that, because I think this might be interesting. Paintball at Ground Zero. Right, because it's something where they're talking about one of the first interviews that they did. Right, here it is. Right. Right, this is an interview with Hayes Knoll. It's paintball in the Ground Zero in the paintball, the Complete Guide to Paintball, right? He's talking about going and doing a TV show. Right, actually, I'm not sure. It's Adam Cohn and Hayes Knowles having a conversation, right? And, talking about the whole idea of paintball looking militant, right? I suppose I'll start reading from here. Eventually, areas around the country were covered by people who owned franchises. This is when paintball was the national survival game. And we wouldn't sell guns to anybody else within their area. For the first 2 or 3 years, we were the only show in town. Then people found out about Nelson. Nelson began selling to them at the original retail price. We couldn't control after that. Adam, how was business? Hayes, incredible, sales skyrocketed. We turned a profit after 6 months. Most startup companies take 2 or 3 years to show profit. These days, you've got the internet. You've got internet companies that don't make anything but vaporware, but are worth millions and billions. We were legitimately successful from the start. Tell us if you need us to repeat anything here, guys. We were never as confident as we probably should have been. We were preoccupied with the image thing, how the game was perceived. Now, this is what I was getting at earlier on. Adam, I've heard that the game's militant look was a publicity problem from the start. Hayes, unfortunately, yes. For instance, during the early going, I went to Chicago. The Donahue Show had called and wanted us to talk about what we were doing. Local news shows, anybody who had heard about it, they all wanted to come cover us, because it was kind of controversial and looked really violent. Of course, it really wasn't, but they weren't selling their story, and that it made a good copy in dramatic pictures. I went out to Chicago for the Donahue Show, and then did a segment of Nightline with Ted Koppel in New York. Ted Koppel? Koppel? I don't know. So I talked a little bit to the Donahue producer about the game, and we sent them a gun. I really wanted Donahue to shoot me on the set, inside the studio, at point blank range. I figured that it would take something that dramatic, that looks cool, and would make it clear to people that paintball wasn't really dangerous, to soften people's impression of the game. Donahue wouldn't do it. Instead, he invited me and an anti-violence psychologist for a debate format. The psychologist thought any G.I. Joe toys and stuff like that were problematic. Fucking political correctness back then. They also had a woman and her son who had played the game. There were 4 of us on the show. Donahue came in and said, "Now listen, this is not like school. You don't have to raise your hands. It's going to be over in 15 minutes. If you guys have anything to say, you'd better say it." Then he said, "When I open the show, I'm going to shoot a police target." He didn't want to shoot me, so he planned to use a police target instead. So we go into the studio and there's the live audience ready to go. I know there's a psychologist who's going to try and do me in, so I'm kind of nervous. Donahue's ready to fire away at this silhouette type target that you might see police shoot at. It was a white paper silhouette hanging on a backstage curtain. Can you see where this is going? I said, "Wait a minute, hey, you can't do that, the paintball will go right through the paper target." And he said, "Oh yeah, you're right." So he got somebody to stand behind the curtain to hold a backboard up behind the thing. But then he said, laughs, "Tonight we have the survival game. It's a game. Is it a game or is it more than a game?" You can see where this sort of thing is going. Then he turned and shot this thing and it sounded like a cannon going off. Laughs. And it went right through the paper target. Well, exactly. You're going to expect it to go through the target, aren't you? It looked as though he could have shot it with a .38 caliber handgun. I mean, the hole just looked like a bullet would make. Then the paintball broke when it hit the curtain, and it was a red paintball exploding on that white backdrop. See? Of course, it makes it look violent. It looks like blood. It looks like, a massive hole appearing in the paper target. You associate that with power. A big hole fired by something implies power. It's like when you see videos of people shooting melons with, big caliber handguns and them exploding. It's powerful, isn't it? So you see a big hole in the target, you're thinking that's hit hard. And then when you get a red splatter, blood. Another reason why red paintballs were pretty much phased out. So that was kind of bad. Laughs. Here's laughing. I said, "I know this looks really bad to myself," and I got pretty uptight. Donahue went and rubbed his finger around the hole like it was a wound or something. He looked right at me in the face and said, "That scares the shit out of me." Just like that. Well, I knew I was in trouble right there. At the opening of the show, Donahue said, we just shot the paintball, and I think I'd rather play this game in armour than with goggles. The woman ended up shooting me on the show, and that was fine, but still, at the end of the show, the audience gets to ask questions. And some woman said, "I just don't understand what this is all about." Adam, how did Nightline go? Here's, you wouldn't believe it, they had Ted Koppel doing a live interview with a guy named Fred Camper, who ran a mercenary school in Alabama. About 4 months earlier, a Pakistani airline flying in England had blown up and people had gotten killed. They had traced some of the terrorists back to this Frank Camper guy, So they presented the information, and then Capel asked Camper if he'd ever killed anybody. Frank Camper looks right at the camera and says, yeah, I have. So they were saying, hey, look, this is what's going on in America. We've got terrorist training bases, and now look what people are starting to do for recreation. Look at the games they're playing. Great, eh? Ah. Bugger. Livestream crashed. Well, I don't know who's still here, but someone's still here. They showed pictures of people playing the paintball game out in the woods, and they really tried to do a number on us. Anyway, that was on Saturday night. Well, Monday morning in the office, we got about 200 calls. Where can I play this game? It looks great. It's so much fun. It looks so much fun. And then we started to relax a bit after that. So there you go. That was... Hello, hello again, guys. Welcome back. But there you go. That was... I mean, God knows when that interview was made, or when that interview was done. But it's, you know, even going back, I'd be curious as to when that interview was actually recorded. My bedtime stories are so poo. Yeah. No, but the idea is, it's like, even going back then, he knew what the image was, what the image looked like. They knew that they were going to be that people were going to try and smear them, that the media was going to try and smear them. And luckily, you know, there was other people there that were pro paintball. Where are my curtains? I've got no curtains. But luckily there was other people there, you know, like this mother and son that were there, that were pro paintball. But now they wouldn't have done that. Now if they did it, they might have like let's say if well, I'm trying to think of some, like the Hidden Hedgehog. They might take the Hidden Hedgehog and invite him to a TV show. But now they would do it the other way around. They would gang up on him and they would hammer him on in a TV debate. They would try and spin everything to, because I mean the Hidden Hedgehog does have this sort of military-esque style look. I mean, I know some of his stuff is like sort of World War II sort of era looking, but a lot of it is military-esque. So they were in the fact that he does stuff like, you know, his headshots videos and things like that. They would try and take that as a reason of trying to make him look violent. Now we know it's not. It's nothing like that. It's no different to playing a video game. But in a society at the minute that is targeting video games as well, you know, if they're prepared to go after video games for being too violent, then they're going to go after a sport where we're doing it in person as being violent, aren't we? Not there's ever really been any cases of anybody doing anything legit, but still it's what they'll do. They'll go after people for it. Now, I was just swiping through this there before. I was flicking through and saw something I thought might be kind of interesting. If I can actually find it again. Because, I mean, we all know paintball's no more dangerous than anything else. Right, what's this all about? I'll have to have a listen to that once I finish the stream. Cheers for the link. The interview that I'm on about is on here. Cheers. Nice one. I'll have to... I don't know what noise that was. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that in a bit. But, come on, where was it? Oh, wait. I bet I can't find it now. Aha! Oh, I thought it was like a proper segment. Oh, look. AGD 6-pack. BBC World Service. Yeah, I'll have a look in a bit. Cheers, Albert. I'll get around to it. Right, and the Crossman 3357 as well. The precursor to the HDR. That thing does look. It does look more realistic, like, and the fact it's brake barrel as well is kind of sexy. But yeah, so ultimately, to answer your question, Albert, I'm kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. I don't want. I'm not too sure. I think Milsim does at times give the wrong impression, but I think it's like it seems to be an innate thing. How is it to shoot the HDR? So far, I found it to be absolutely fantastic. I had I had no problems with it. The only apart from having to change the chambers when I was playing, but that was only because I like shooting it. It's a little bit fiddly when you're trying to focus on other things to change the chambers, but that's just practice. The more practice I get at it, the better I'll be. But yeah, ultimately, I absolutely love the HDR, and I can't wait to try it again. If I do get down on the 25th, 21st, or 22nd, whichever day it is, I'll probably be playing with that again. Because for an indoor site, that thing is fantastic. I'll have to have a look at the next time you're at an event. Yeah, you're welcome to, mate. You're welcome to fire a few shots through it as well if I've got some paint. More than welcome. Apparently, though, the only thing is that there isn't anywhere, or nowhere's got them in stock at the minute now. So if you decide that you wanted one, you'd have to pester at least. I think the only place I know that's stocking them at the minute is Battle Gear. So you'd have to pester Paul at Battle Gear for to get one. But yeah, loads of fun to play with. But I mean that in itself is a replica, and I have a full pot of paint. Yeah, wait, that's it. I have. No wonder at that price. Well, there was one of the lads from the Dragons was actually was talking about the idea. Well, he bought one on the Saturday of the Dragons game, and bought another one on the Sunday of the Dragons game, and then he was talking about the idea of just having a geek big dump pouch, and buying at least another couple, so that you could go like full on Pirates of the Caribbean and just have them strapped all over, and just pull one out, fire it off until you run out of paint, put it in the dump pouch and pull another one out, and then pull another and pull another, and then reload them all in one go. It would still, I think the PPQ is like knocking on 300 quid. It's like 250 or 300 quid or something. You can buy 2.5 HDRs for the same price, but you've also got to have like 2.5 HDRs for to carry the same amount of paint. I made some sell stuff and get a high cap planet loader for me pump. Planet loader, the planet loader. You mean it's in like the agitated loader? Yeah, because is Planet doing a loader? Yeah, the thing is though, the agitated loader wouldn't work unless you have the adapter, or unless you have like the agitating feed neck. So, but I suppose there'd probably be a way to mod it. Yeah, you could probably work something out. Anyway, look guys, I'm gonna have to go because I've now been streaming for like 2.25 hours, and I've got to go to bed. Oh man, you seen this? This is just terrible. I'm really on the verge of just shaving it all off. Works as a shake and bake. Oh no, yeah it would. Yeah, it would in all fairness. Chan, I doubt they're gonna do a 60 cal. I would really doubt that. And even if they did, I think they would. If they did one for 68, if they did a 68 cal one, you'd probably only get 4 shots in it. if they try to keep it roughly the same sort of size, which would work as a secondary, but I think as a primary, it wouldn't be ideal. But I don't know how 4 chambers would work. Nah, I just don't. But I mean, I suppose he could maybe just get 5. I think the Duty DSG might actually be 5. But I, if they did a 68 version, they would have to tone the velocity down, because at the minute the HDR 50 fires around about 350 feet per second, which is perfectly fine for 50 cal, but yeah, they would just have to tone it down for 68. Anyway, guys, I'm absolutely shattered, so I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you very much for joining us again. It means a lot to us that people actually drop in and have a big conversation with us. So thank you once again. If you come across any news stories that you feel like you want us to share, or any questions that you think of offline, feel free to send them over to us, and we can always talk about them next time. Thank you very much for watching. The dog has just come and rejoined us. Hello, yes. And thanks very much for joining us. I shall see you next time.